Hey everybody, Stacks here, checking out Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider number 2, and this is by Dennis Hopeless Hallum. Scott Hepburn is your artist, and Antonio Fabella is your colorist. And hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button real quick. If you've been here before, make sure you hit that bell for notifications and just verify that you're subscribed. I've been getting a lot of weird stuff going on with my subscriber count lately. So just check it out real quick, make sure you're good. Alright, so let's get into the book. The book ended with the Cosmic King busting through to see Mephisto in Hotel Inferno there in Vegas. And what he was coming for, and what he was asking Mephisto for, was Frank Castle's eternal soul. Well, he's apparently had a heck of a time convincing Mephisto to cough it up, but the Cosmic King, which I gotta say, just that name stinks. I mean, that's pretty unoriginal. It's just as bad, honestly, as Jason Aaron's Shadow Colonel from the Vampire Civil War he had around Avengers 13 through 16 or so. Just like that one with the Cosmic King, I'm gonna have to go back and check just about every time I say his name. I've seriously written it down on a piece of paper that I can reference it as I do the video. It's that unimaginative and just, it's not catchy. It's just generic bad guy. Sorry for the sidetrack, but back to the comic where you have the Cosmic King who's grabbed this thing and is heading out with it, and Mephisto is explaining to him, look, it's not going to necessarily do you any good because time is fluid here in my realm, and if you take it with you, I don't even have Frank Castle's soul yet where you're going and in your timeline. But this guy doesn't seem like he's too interested in like facts. He's just not that type of guy. But when he comes back through, he is informed by one of his little cronies that, hey, this Cosmic Ghost Rider guy, he is taking out one of your drug mines, basically. And sure enough, that's where we find the Cosmic Ghost Rider and Cammi. If you're trying to figure out who Cammi is, you can go check out my first video on this. I'll try to leave a link here for it. Long story short, though, he went and gave her the penance stare and found out she was an innocent. And despite her best efforts, Frank Castle is trying to keep her that way. But of course, every step of the way, she's trying to buck that. She's trying to say, look, I'm dangerous. I'm not innocent. And Frank has to basically explain this to her, saying, look, my soul's not pure like yours. And she doesn't care to hear it, but he says, look, I didn't rescue you just to turn around and drag you into the darkness with me. You know what I mean? Well, she tries to bring up the point, well, you shouldn't have brought me along with you to murder an entire cartel, and he takes that to heart, and next time he goes off murdering some folks because delivering punishment, guess what? He changed her up and leaves her behind. But anyways, because this is a Marvel comic, they have to go to a diner and they have to sit down and eat. It's an absolute requirement in every Marvel comic book. Well, while they're eating, they've drawn the attention of some cosmic assassins who are probably out, trying to get the bounty that's out on his head right now from the Cosmic King, and he just makes quick work of them because, I mean, he's a former Herald of Galactus, for goodness sakes. After they're done with all the unpleasantness at the bar, they head to the next spot, which basically, to make a long story short on this, there's a planet that is benefiting from having a wormhole near it, and that wormhole allows them to, it's basically their economy, being able to provide transportation through that wormhole. Well, the Cosmic King has set up a blockade around the planet and around this wormhole because he wants to control that wormhole for transporting drugs through it. In establishing this blockade, he's cut off food transport and everything else, medical supplies, all that stuff, down to the population of the planet. Cammi's the one giving Frank all this information regarding this planet. And so once he's heard all this, he's off like a shot. He's like, hey, well, if they need food, let's go give them some meat. And Cammi's like, ooh, that's gross. And he's like, well, kid, smart comments like that, one-liners, they can't all be winners. But just like all these other times, now he leaves her behind, and she is so desperate to get in the action that she finds a way to do it. She ends up escaping. She gets onto a blockade ship and she's tearing through it. She's doing her thing, and she ends up taking the captain hostage and threatening him, and brings up some stuff that happened to a friend of hers because some other captain somewhere did something. So she's about to exact vengeance on this guy for something that he hasn't done. And that's when Frank shows up. He rips this entire ship in half and tells her, look, you're about to kill that guy. And it's at this point that she finally starts to lose it on him, you know, just going off on him. It's like, you leave me chained like to the sidecar like some kind of puppy, and you just leave here. You're obsessed with me being spotless and me having this innocence, but you're the Punisher. You're the freaking Punisher, and you're supposed to be punishing, not saving me from my sins. And then she tells him, you're the Punisher, and there's no coming back from that. And he says, think I don't know that, kid? A contract I signed says as much. I can't ever atone. I can't ever make amends. I don't ever get to go and burn for my sins as much as I deserve it. I sold my soul for a few more pulls of the trigger, having no idea what forever really meant. And after 1,000 years of obsessively punishing the guilty, the only thing I tell you for sure is that true innocence is rare and really, really delicate. Well, right as he says that, there's a chuckle, in the background, and of course, it's the arrival of the Cosmic King. And he finds it funny that Frank Castle is sitting here waxing poetic about protecting the innocent. And he starts screaming, and he transforms into this giant monster beast thing. Well, the Cosmic Ghost Rider doesn't miss a beat. He goes right after this thing, but gets hit right away. Cammi gets scooped up and tossed into space, and is getting sucked into this wormhole that we've been talking about. And that's where we end the book, with Cammi basically unraveling as she travels through this wormhole to the other side, not knowing how or if she's going to make it through. Alright, so my thoughts on this book so far. I'm with it throughout. 5 issues. I'm going to stick with Cosmic Ghost Rider throughout, because it's through the last year and a half, it's kind of become one of my favorite characters for whatever reason. I think a lot of that probably from the Baby Thanos storyline with Frank Castle and all this emotional turmoil and everything. And I just enjoy the character, especially when Donny Cates was writing him. So as far as this storyline, I'm enjoying it because now you have the potential with this. What I gotta check. What's his name? Cosmic King. The Cosmic King, with him having access to Frank Castle's eternal soul via Mephisto. Does the Cosmic Ghost Rider now have a weakness? Does this character that we've really seen just march through everything, he got defeated by Thanos and the Silver Surfer during the Thanos Win storyline, and he ran into an issue with Hela because of him basically being he's dead in what was it? What issue of it was in Guardians of the Galaxy? I think it was 5 or 6. But anyways, there's this real threat to him possibly. So I'm interested to see what happens with this Cammi character. I'm not a huge fan, but I could see why. And this is, I guess, probably me projecting some stuff that's not there. He went in what was it? Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History. He had his daughter there. He spent some time with her, and she was tough. She was his daughter. She was Frank Castle's daughter. And I can see him putting and projecting some of those traits and qualities on her, in that he's wanting to protect her. Now, I hate to bag on this book, but I do have to say that the art is a lot better when Frank Castle is flamed up in Ghost Rider mode, as opposed to when Frank Castle is just hanging out. The face on Frank in some of these, for some reason, in one of these he looks like Jeremy Renner from the MCU, Hawkeye. In another one, it looks like there probably weren't enough branches in his family tree, just the way something about him. He don't look right, but anyways, the art seems a lot better when it's these big space moments with Frank, with him doing awesome stuff. It looks like the artist really can really get those down, but these facial features and drawing Frank when he's not flamed up, it does not work good. I'll tell you one thing I always like is when Frank Castle has these moments where half the face is Frank and half of it is the Ghost Rider. I really love when an artist does a good job with that. Anyways, guys, if you haven't checked out, I have Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History. I have, I think, 3 videos on that encompasses the whole run. You can go find that in the playlist on my channel. Hope you do. Hope you go check it out. And anyways, guys, I'm going to call that it for this video. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave a like if you would so kindly. And make sure you comment below. Tell me if you're enjoying this run. And let me know if you're picking it up or not, guys. I appreciate it. Real Comic Stacks, out.